Kasher alai biyadi u'garabotai. We are in the Halevavot. We're still soaking up the Hakdamah. The introduction itself is a book. Exactly. It's true. If you're following along, it's Samach Bet, when the left tov, Halevavot Perush on the bottom. When I started understanding the mitzvot, Halevavot mitzad hasecha means from my mind, like a person analyzes the mitzvot. Chakarti alehen bepesukim ub'dei hamimzal. I went to discover what the pesukim say and what the rabbis say about these mitzvot. I found a lot of places that speaks about that. And I will, through the Pesukim of the Torah, he's saying, you're going to learn the Sefer, and I'm going to let you know, I'm getting it from the Torah itself. What I'm going to tell you, I'm going to prove it to you. Every mitzvah, I'm going to prove to you from the Divrei Chazal and from the Torah itself, Pesukim of the Torah itself, how perfect it is. Mitzvot sichliyot, mitzvot of understanding behind the mitzvot.
Not from my mind.
Obviously, I might want to tell you something. Usually in every Sefer it is like that. They bring you proofs. If you look at any Sefer, Mesilat Yesharim, go look the whole Mesilat Yesharim. If you go through the whole Mesilat Yesharim, you'll see he's quoting Pesukim. He's quoting Pesukim from the Torah. He'll quote Gemarot. He'll quote it because he's proving his point through that. A person can't prove his point without a proper source. And where's the most proper source? If the Gemara says it, Khalas. Any Torah, Chazal, Pesukim in the Torah, Tanakh. If you could find that, you have etched in stone a source, and therefore every sefer you see, it's going to quote you Pesukim about that. It's going to quote you Midrash Chazal about that. It's going to do it. וקראתי לספרי שם ממורה על מטרה שאני מתכוון לה בספר והוא ספר תורת הלבבות. I called it Chovot Halevavot. Why? My kavanah is להחכים את עצמי. He said, I wrote it to broaden my knowledge in this category. ולעורר את אלו, and to wake up the people שנתפתו על ידי יצר אל הרע. You know, people have יצר הרע. I'm opening the book, Sefer, first of all, for myself. First of all, I'm not running it for myself. And second of all, I'm doing it for what? If people were entangled by the Yetzer Hara, sometimes a person gets entangled by the Yetzer Hara. He gets, you ever see a person gets trapped? Sometimes a person gets trapped by the Yetzer Hara. You have to bust yourself out of it. You have to really get yourself out of it. So he's saying, I also wrote it for those people that they'll open up the Sefer and they'll be able to disentangle themselves from the Yetzer. V'et bnei Torah, even for the guys who bnei Torah, the guys who are studying all day long. Even any Ben Torah, that maybe a person does I'll bring you proofs about every single thing about it. That the mind will testify that it is straightforward and emet and truthful. And you cannot deviate from them unless the person is apikoris. He just denies. You have the deniers, you have the apikorisim. No, I don't believe it. Because he doesn't use a sechel. He's telling you, I could prove to you everything I'm about to tell you, and you can't go against it. I have proofs. And then therefore, unless the guy's apikores, otherwise, checkmate over here. Because in the apikores, a person who doesn't believe, it's very hard for him to accept the truth. I'm showing you the truth, because his mind is thick-headed. He doesn't want. When a person doesn't want, he's not going to get it. I remember one of my friends in yeshiva, long time ago, Moti they called him, right? He said to me, he knows that hypnotize. You know hypnotize? I'm an eyewitness to this. I saw this. I'm telling you, I couldn't believe. He got a guy, he got like, let's say 10 guys, and they all think, and he hypnotizes. Right now, it's a hot day, and you're eating ice cream. Let me see how you're eating the ice cream. And the guy, the guy's licking an empty cone. And it's dripping, and now it's dripping on your hand. It's dripping all in. And now he's running, I can't find the napkin. The guy is hypnotized. The guy, I saw him, I couldn't believe it. So I came to him, I said, how do you do it? He says, the first rule. First rule is what? If the guy doesn't want to be hypnotized, if he doesn't let me go into his mind, there's no way he's going to be hypnotized. Same thing, apikores. If an apikores, a guy who doesn't believe, you can tell him blue in the face. The Torah. It has nothing to do with you. It has to do with him. He doesn't want to accept the truth. He doesn't want to accept the truth. You could say blue in the face. It says in the pasuk. He'll fight. No, I don't believe it. What do you don't believe? I'm showing you. That's what he's telling you. Because he says the apikorsim. What do they want? What do they want, Yossi? Easy life. So therefore, it's easy life. I have to keep this, I have to keep that. So in order to make it easy life for them, they blame it's not true, it's not true, it's not true. No, it's true. He says, and I'm not going to waste my time arguing with them. As he says, yeah? I'm not going to waste my time. I'm not interested in doing that. I want to show the people who have a seichel, a straight mind, how truthful every mitzvah is. He says, the depth of the Torah. When you go look in deep about emunah, and the shoresh, and the roots of the Torah, we'll be able to figure it out. What's my purpose? It's like a person, he's like an astrologer. He knows exactly where the stars are, where this Jupiter is, where Mars is, where every single thing. He says he knows how to do it exactly where it is. He put you a map. He says, right? There was a stargazer, and he saw.
He walked into his colleague's backyard and told him that there is a treasure.
A black kesef shachor.
And then he told him there's a treasure that's buried inside his backyard. They took it out, found black money.
So
changed due to rust.
Yes. He took some of the money. He wiped it down with some salt. He made it beautiful. Until the money became clear again. And it was clear. Meaning to say, he's saying like, what he's trying to say in
basically he's going to clean your thoughts.
Exactly.
So it becomes
exactly. Let's say if a person finds gold on in his backyard, right? So it's all dirty. So he says, it's all dirty. Yeah, it's all dirty because you have to clean it. So he says, come with me, let's journey together in the Sefer Halevavot, and I'll polish your brain to understand it clearly as the gold. ואני גם מתכוון לעשות כך, בכבוד לבוא, לגלות אותנו, לראות את זוהר מעלותן, כדי שיעשה כן, כל מי שרוצה לקרב אלוקים לדבק בו. Anybody wants to come close to Hashem, learn the Sefer extra, and you'll see the clarity of mind. וכאשר תקרא אחי את ספר זה, ודברו תוכנו, he's saying, my brother, I get that one, my brother, when you're learning it, הצמד אותו על זכרונך. Engrave it in your brain, engrave it in your mind. Delve into the truth. Don't trick yourself. Always go all the time. Just go over what I'm telling you. He's saying just go over. I'm about to tell you, he worked hard to get this done. And I'm working hard for it. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. He knows truth, proof. Just pay attention to it and remember what I'm telling you. Wow, look how humble he is. Look how humble he is. He says, and if you see something that's not right, Yani, mark it, okay. Mark for yourself, fix it. Amazing. He knows everything that he does right. He's telling Yani, if you find something, hear that? Yeah, right, he said it like that. He's telling you, oh, by the way, if you see something, fix it. Chisaron, fill it in. But read the Sefer in order to apply it. Don't just learn the Sefer. Apply what you learned from the Sefer. A lot of times people just get knowledge. So you got the knowledge, and then what? You have to apply the knowledge. When you get up from a Sefer, you're supposed to think, how I'm going to apply what I've learned. ולא מתוך כוונה לקנות שם להתפאר שאתה בקיא בחומה זה וזה. Don't say, oh, I'm learning Sefer, now I know so much wisdom. I should be Aige, now I'm the Aige. Yeah, you want to ask me about the trees, I know everything. Look how smart I am. Don't do it because of that. Do it because you want to learn to actually do it. And please, he says, give me the benefit of the doubt. If you find something wrong, says, don't worry, I had to write it a little bit in haste. I had to write it in a little haste, so don't worry about it. Why do I have to write it in haste? Wow! You know what he writes? He says, the reason why I had to write it quickly, because he's scared he might die. That's what he writes. Hey, why do I write it quick? Ki pachadti pen yakdimeni hamavet veyimna mimeni et ma shani mekaveh la'asot. Wow, you hear that? I guess, what do you think? He wrote it when he was older?
No, but...
He's saying no, even if he was younger.
The thing is here, it's so deep. You could go on and on and on and on and on and on. He has to conclude it somewhere.
I like it.
So he has to.
I like it. He's saying, listen, I'm gonna keep on going, but listen, at the end of the day, I gotta finish. So I don't know, because he's saying I wrote it quick.
In haste. No, in other words.
He's saying I wrote it in haste.
Yeah, but
he's saying that,
Yani. These 10 chapters, each chapter could be 10 chapters under it. So, he wrote it in haste. He's saying he probably wrote it in abbreviation. Because if he's really going to delve into it, probably...
He knows it's going to make an impact.
Yeah.
It's going to be, and the Yitzhak is not going to want it.
So you're saying it's different. You're saying because he's scared the Yitzhak might kill him. But the bottom line is, Pashtut, I think he means that he was, Pashtut, I'm saying I'm learning it, that he was getting a little bit older, and he's scared his days are short.
Find out
and he could
when
be.
he wrote it.
Yeah, we could find out. And his days are getting short. He wants to just make sure if you find anything, just correct. But still, it's humble to say such a thing. Yeah. It's very humble. Imagine writing a sefer, you read that might be taken aback. Wait, is there anything?
Last week you were saying the Hafetz Chaim took
25 to 30 years to write the Mishnah Berurah, Hafetz Chaim, yes.
So you can't spend that time probably.
Yeah. So וימנע ממני את מה שאני מקווה לעשות ודע כי כוחו של בשר ואדם הוא מדי חלש מלהשיג דבר על בריאו. He says a human being is still flesh and blood. And to get to the depth of the depth of the depth,
it's impossible.
You're still flesh and blood. ובכל הטבע האנושי להגיע לעומק המושג. It's almost very hard. כמו שמה כתוב, אך הבל בני אדם כעשו בני איש, וזיים לאות המה מהבל יחד. כבר הבעתי את התנצלות על מיעוט כוחי שיש בה הזדקות על טעות או שגיאה עשויה למצא בספר. Fine. It's just bring out a point. At the end of the day, there's very, very big depth to nature. You could analyze one thing and it could take you years. It really could. You take one item and dissect it and go over it, and like Ramila was saying, like a dandelion or a peach. Like if you ever take a peach pit, you can never break it. When does it? Why? Because inside is the seeds, and if you break it, the seeds are going to be gone. The only one way you can break is if you put it in the ground. The soil could break it. It doesn't make sense, but Hashem created like that. You have to understand there's so much depth to it. When he writes, you know what I'm saying? He said, in orange, take an orange. Hashem puts a glaze. You ever see like a certain shine? Like a little glaze on it? You're thinking it's like the pesticide, right? It's like a wax that Hashem put it to secure it. You know what I mean? It has security on it. And why he writes, why orange at the outside? So it gives you a pleasure to eat it. And why when you open it up in the inside, it should stay also orange? No, because you already opened it, so you already had the appetite, you already got in. So you don't need it to be orange again. You understand? A lot of depth to everything. The 10 sources, the 10 chapters, like we discussed last week, like we discussed what it was. It's written all the Chovot Levot. Mitzvah taseh, mitzvah lo taseh, right? כמו שכתוב הרבה מצוות בפסוק, ואהבת לרעך כמוך, לא עשה לרעך רע, פסול מרע ועשה טוב. He says, you can have one pasuk, but in that pasuk you have a lot of things, because it says love your friend, and it says also don't do bad, do good to your friend. So there's a lot of pasukim about it. הצפן אותם משפטיך, אם תסיר את דעתך מהם, הרזר אותם תמיד על ירונך. He says, if you forget what I'm telling you, go over the sefer and bring it back into your mind. ואז תראה בעזרת השם את הדברים שתוכל ללמוד מהם, כשרק יראה מלבך שאתה אומנם חפץ בהם ונוטה להם. He says, as long as you put your mind to it. This is a general rule. As long as you put your mind to something, you could succeed. Don't tell me you can't. Figure it out. You know what I mean? Figure it out. You know, sometimes a person is working for somebody, right? He gives them a job to do. I can't. You know what? Figure it out. You know what I'm talking about? The boss tells you, do this, do that, do this, do that. And the guy's like, oh, I don't know, enough. You could. If you really want, you could. Put your brains together. Hashem gave you a beautiful brain. Put your brains together and figure it out. Who's the person that fears Hashem? Yorenu b'derech yivchad. Na'asho b'tov talim v'zero yirash aretz. So Hashem narav uvriyoto le'diyam. U'matzati l'nachon l'sayim et p'tichat ha'sefer hazeh b'mashal ne'eh. He says, I'm about to finish the intro with the following what? The following parable. Let's see what he says. What is it? אשר יזרז אותך להבין והיטב את ענייני הספר ויעורר אותך לדעת את ההבדל שבין מדרגות מצוות הלבבות לבין מדרגת מצוות האיברים. את ההבדל שבין מדרגת שאר חוכמת הטבע. He says, זהו משל. Go straight to the משל. Next paragraph. What is the parable? אחד המלכים חילק לעבדיו כדורי משי. He says, a king gave out to his servants, what did he give out, Yossi? What did he give out? Yarns of silk. He gave yarns of silk. Hanu et hachomer hagolmi shel hameshi lifnei ibudo. Kedei lebchon bekach et midat sechlam. He tested his servants. He say, take this. Ha'eved sheyah azriz v'apikeh biyoter. The guy who was very smart. Ba'achar et hameshi achi tov shenafal bechalko. He picked the highest grade silk. Umehashar ba'achar shuv et hasug achi tov. Right? And the rest also, he got the best of it. Different type of materials he was giving, he got the best of it. V'chilek et chalko l'shosha sugim. He took everything and he separated into three parts. Tov, benoni, pachut. Best, medium, worst. Ve'ibed kol sug lechud et hameshi achi tov shaya efshar la'asot me'oto sug. He says, what did he do? He created the best that he could in each one. V'asa me'hameshi etzel omanim mumchim b'gdei sarim ikarim shonim. He created from the highest grade silk the best garments, top line garments, be'kol minei tzeva'im, with all different colors. Ve'lavash otam l'bnei hamelech kol beged uzman b'makom hanachon k'ra'ui. He said he wore the best in front of the king. Ve'ha'eved hatipesh, the guy, the other servant that wasn't smart, עשה מכל המשי את מה שעשה העבד הזריז בחוט. ומכר משוויו ומיהר. So what did he do? Not so smart. What did he do, Yossi? מה שעשה העבד הזריז מהסוג הפחות, ומכר אותו בהזדמנות שלו בפחות משוויו. He sold it. He wore it. He sold it. He didn't show it to the king. He didn't show it. The first one, the smartest one, what did he do, Stephen? He wore it, and what did he do? He wore it, he showed the king, look what I did. The one that was the idiot, what did he do? He wore it, he made it, and he sold it. He didn't show the king what I made out of it. He sold it. He went on what? On a frenzy. Let's go eat, let's go drink. Right? The king found out. He saw what's going on. He saw who was smart. The guy who took the material and made a nice suit out of it and showed it to the king. The other guy made a nice suit out of it, sold it, and got out of it. And he took this guy who made the suit nicely in front of the king and he put him in the highest position. But the other slave that just took it and sold it, he said, get out of my kingdom, you're out of my palace. He kissed him, he threw him one of these lands, faraway lands. So now, that was the mashal. You got the mashal? You got the mashal or no? Simple mashal? One guy did good with all the silk. He made a brand new suit, showed it to the king. One took the suit, sold it, and took the money, and he had fun with it. So to Hashem, Natan et Torato, He gave His Torah. He gave the highest grade, the Torah, to test the people, to test you. Are you smart? If you're smart, When you learn, you understand, you start understanding, you start seeing spirituality, how great the chokhmah of the Torah is. Shehem chokhmat hatzpun. It's the psychological depth in your mind about the mitzvah. Kegon Chovot Halevavot, like the depth of the consciousness in the human being. And you're thinking about it. Again, he's going in depth of the subconscious. There's a subconscious mind that you have. And a guy who understands what it's about, you'll go through the subconscious, you'll start realizing really in depth that the mitzvah is more than just, it's just everything Hashem, but there's so much depth to every mitzvah. After you know this, you have to use your body to act on it. Your mind has it. You have to apply it now that your bones should act to it. Self-control. Be quick and doing what's good. Be adamant that you won't do what's bad. And you have to apply it each time. The third thing is כדי לדעת את כיתות בני האדם בתולדותם לפי סדר דוד שעברו ואיזה זמנות התרחשו בימים קודמים והוא משמש בכל חלק וחלק בזמנו ובמקומו כראוי כפי צורך שיש בו ובשמו כל חלק הוא עושה לעצמו, and he realizes through the times. So it's the chokhmah, it's the actual doing it, and you see the times, what's going on with it. Right? עוזר לעצמו בכל השימוש בכל ההכרחות, right? שבהן הוא לוקח את מודות. כי מי שאינו בקיא בחוכמה, אלא אינו יכול להכיר את גדלות החוכמה. Because if you don't know this, you don't realize the greatness of God. Yeah, you see, yeah, you know. But if you go in depth, you see the greatness of God is amazing. Right? כמו שמשו כל עובד כלי עבדה. אבל הטיפש, but the person who is an idiot, a person who doesn't have such wisdom, a person who's a tipesh, כשהוא לומד, when he learns, משתמש בו כדי לדעת את העובדות הבלתי מובנות. דברי הימים הקודמים, ממהר לענות על ידי תוכן העשה ומענות העולם. מביא ממנה ראיה שיש דור אחר התאווה, ולעזוב את הפרישות, לא מבני האדם, לא לדעת את עצמו, כי ישב ביניהם, ודרך אחר יצאו למקום בני אנשים, מביא דעתם, רבצם, ולכת אומר, הוא ימות בין מוסר ורוב ודעתו שגאה. He takes the Torah, he uses it for his own pleasures. Like he uses it meaning to say, oh yeah, he sketches the people, he does this, that. It's wrong. Use the Torah for the right reasons. Delve into what we're telling you. He ends off. What does that mean? He's end off. He says one of this pasuk we say is one of the greatest pleasure that a person has in this world is connected to Hashem. David HaMelech had everything. And what does David HaMelech say? Vani kirvat Elohim li tov. What's good? Getting close to Hashem. So he says, use the Torah, use it to go in depth of the knowledge of it and to understand it. And he says, if you read the Sefer, you learn the Sefer again and again, it'll eventually hit. But don't just read it just to get knowledge. Read it to apply it. And you will. You will. The greatest thing that a person can have in life is always connecting to Hashem, no matter what. Chazon Ish used to say, you go into a shoe store. What do? You pray to Hashem before you walk in. Help me find the right shoes. Whether you find it, whether you're not, what do? Thank you, Hashem. I didn't find it, I did find it. What are you doing? It says you're putting Hashem into your life. You're waiting on the supermarket line to pay. Don't just wait and do nothing and look at your phone or something like that. Think about Hashem. Think about Hashem. Hashem, you're so great. I have money that I could buy food. Wow. Shtabach Shemo. I have health that I could actually walk. Wow. Shtabach Shemo. Look how much food. You realize now supermarkets, they have supermarkets all kosher. Go back 20 years ago. Go ask your parents. Go ask your grandparents. They'll tell you how it was back in the day. You would go to ShopRite before Pesach and you would see one aisle, one section in the front of the section. Not like the whole section, the front of the section. I remember I was a young kid, 10 years old. I'll never forget. I went 10 years old, like what? There's like one small section in the thing, like what? There was no such thing as a full super kosher market. There was no such thing. There was no such thing. You would go to a regular Wallbaum's, ShopRite, Stop and Shop, all these stores. Now it became, you could go to the whole supermarket because the kosher section became huge. Huge. Some places in the world, there's only still one little place. You go to some places, boom, one little in front. They have a Manischewitz and they have the this Passover section, and you see 2x4. I'm serious. And therefore we think it's Hashem. Look into it. 12 Bezrat Hashem. We'll continue next one.